back, ladies and gentlemen, to Inmed Pharmaceuticals, an industry leader in the manufacturing, development, and commercialization of rare cannabinoids. Joining us, Chief Executive Officer Eric Adams. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Such a pleasure to have you. So we're going to be kind of divulging down into your company, and we're going to break this down in parts. But as a brief introduction, you're kind of using cannabinoids in trials to treat everything from EB and glaucoma. For newer investors, can you give us just a brief elevator pitch to your pipeline and kind of what's going on over there at Inmed?
Sure. So most people are familiar with the cannabinoids THC and CBD. You find these across the board in a lot of different products these days. But there's another 140 or so other cannabinoids that the plant manufactures. And what we're doing is looking at the therapeutic potential of these other cannabinoids called rare cannabinoids and their ability to treat diseases or different ailments in the human body. So we have kind of two segments to our company. One is the pharmaceutical drug development. And as you mentioned, we're looking at a rare genetic skin disorder called epidermolysis bullosa, or EB. And that's in clinical trials. And we're also looking at the treatment of glaucoma, and that's still preclinical, but we hope to be in human trials within the next, say, 12 to 18 months. So that's one side of the business. The other side is that we're manufacturing rare cannabinoids and supplying them to people who put them in products for the health and wellness space. That's through our US subsidiary called BayMedica. So the unifying theme across these two companies is rare cannabinoids. We think there's a lot of potential here. Not only on the health and wellness side, but also on the longer term pharmaceutical side as well.
Yeah, it's really neat to kind of see your double-edged approach here, but kind of rolling back a little farther, I wouldn't mind getting to know a little bit about yourself. I mean, your history includes 25 years of experience in establishing corporate entities to mergers and acquisitions, licensing, and corporate governance. It sounds like you've been really involved in the finance space. What kind of led up to that aha moment that got you involved with Inmed?
Yeah, well, I've been in the biotech and pharmaceutical sector my entire career. By background, I'm a chemist, and then I got an international MBA and started my career in Europe. So I've been around the block. I've seen a lot of different diseases, a lot of different technologies, a lot of different companies. I've been in Vancouver now for 25 odd years or so. I was always intrigued by the potential of cannabinoids. I remember when I was at one major pharmaceutical company, we were sitting around talking about what is the next thing we're going into, and people kept talking about opioids, and I just said, well, the cannabinoids are pretty interesting too. And they're like, oh, well, that's taboo. You can't do things with marijuana, like that's so taboo. I'm like, but the other one's heroin. Like, what do you mean taboo? So I was always perplexed by this concept. It didn't matter that it was taboo. It was certainly had a lot of potential, and I felt that we should look into it. That company went in a different direction. And then over time, I just started to see the potential of this class of compounds. And keep in mind, only THC is intoxicating. All the other ones aren't. They're just drugs that interact well with the human body and do a number of different things. So as long as you stay away from THC, you're not going to have this, intoxicating effect that fogs your mind. Over time, I just saw more and more applications, more and more potential. I was approached by Inmed to join the company in 2016, which, if you remember, that's right when everything started to heat up in the cannabis and cannabis-related sectors. And I felt it was a good time to really get in and try and make a difference using this class of compounds.
Yeah, and you kind of get to avoid a lot of the THC regulations as well, right? And it sounds like this has kind of been in your blood for a little while. Not literally, but nonetheless. Can you expand a little bit farther on your team here as well? Who's kind of helping you captain this ship? Just give us some insights there.
Sure. On the Inmed side, everyone has an extensive background in pharmaceutical and biotech drug development. So that's where we all come from. A lot of local companies here that were very successful. Starting with Mike Wodenberg, who is an executive with experience in the what we call CMC, chemistry, manufacturing, and control. So all the manufacturing aspects of getting a product made and getting it to market. And he comes with a very long history in that field and a lot of successful products. Joining him is Alexandra Mancini. She's been in the industry a long time. She's brought a lot of products through to the FDA for approval and gotten them onto the market. And so she's, kind of a one of a kind, if you will, especially in Vancouver in terms of her knowledge of drug development and getting regulatory approvals. Eric Sue is our preclinical research scientist. He's worked in a number of different drug categories. And his job is to make sure we're looking at the right type of preclinical models to help build our confidence that we're on the right path prior to getting into humans. He's also a PhD virologist. So during the last couple of years of COVID, you can imagine having him around has been very helpful in helping us all understand and navigate this pandemic. So, but that's just an aside. And of course, at the CFO level, we recently added Brenda Edwards, who is our interim CFO, and she brings a wealth of experience on both private and public companies. So that's the primary team here at Inmed. And then on the BayMedica side, we have 5 PhDs who are doing a lot of the research in how to manufacture, this class of compounds using a number of different systems, chemical synthesis, biosynthesis, what have you. And we also have a VP of Sales and Marketing, Jerry Griffin, who's joined us recently to launch these into the B2B segment for the health and wellness space. So, it's a great group, extensive knowledge. Anyone could take a look at our website and see that we've got all the right players and a real depth to the company.
I really appreciate those insights. So what we're going to do is when we come back, we're going to kind of break down those 2 facets of your business there. And I want to pass the question off to the viewers at this point. We'd love to know what you guys think about all of this in that comment section below. Consider subscribing because as news comes down the wire, of course, we'll continue to update you here. But on that note, stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.